Hello guys. So welcome back to another YouTube video. Um, I'm in our science room, just chilling. Um, anyway, so we're doing this again. I haven't done this in so long. But this video is going to be about balancing equations. So um, take it slow, like I said, with all my videos, pause, rewind if you have to, because this is really important, especially when you're doing science next year and chemistry in year 11 as well. You need to know this. Okay, so balancing equations. So there are a couple of things you need to know before you start balancing an equation. So I've written this equation out for you, and what I've done is I've color coded the atoms. If you guys remember, we did those activities with the atomic molecules where you had to make sure the same number of molecules was on both sides and the right colors were used as well. So obviously in a test, it won't be color coded. So we're going to start off with color coded ones, and then you need to be familiar with which ones are the atoms. So if you guys notice, when you've got a capital letter and a lowercase letter next to it, that is one atom. So this is sodium by itself. This capital letter and the little letter, they are joined together. So Mg is magnesium. And F, if it's just got one capital letter just by itself, that's another atom, another element, sorry. Um, so always keep that in mind. So that lowercase letter doesn't mean it's a different element. It's kind of attached to the capital letter in front of it. Okay, so balancing equations. So now you've been given an equation, you need to balance it. You need to make sure that the number of atoms on one side of the same element is also the same on the other side. So the reactants and products are balanced out. So there are some steps that you need to follow. So this will be given to you as well. The steps are: determine the number of atoms for each element, pick an element that is not equal on both sides, add a coefficient. So coefficient means the big number in front of the element. So when you're balancing equations, you only add numbers in front. You don't go adding, see how this one has like a little 2? You don't go adding little numbers next to it. So you're always adding the numbers in front. And you continue adding the coefficients until everything is balanced out. So we did a couple in class and you guys got it really quickly. So this is kind of like a little refresher. So if we look at this, I'm going to write it in black. So we're going to list all the elements. So we've got sodium, magnesium, this. I'm going to list it down here. So we're going to start off by doing this, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be writing it directly onto the equation. So sodium on this side, remember you're looking at everything on this side of the arrow, there's only one, right? If it's just by itself. Magnesium, there's one, and fluorine, there's only two, because that little 2 is showing you that there's 2 fluorines. So hopefully that makes sense so far. So what I'm doing is writing down how many there are. On this side, 1 sodium, 1 magnesium, and 1 fluorine. Okay, so now I'm going to go across and tick things off. So sodium and sodium, there's 1 of each. They're balanced on each side. Great. Magnesium, 1, 1, balanced. Now there's 2 fluorines here and 1 here. So what you need to do is you can always, remember you're adding numbers. So you're adding a number in front. So we've got 2 here because of that. We've got 1 here. So that means in order to make this, we need to make this a 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a large 2 in front. That is a coefficient. And we're only putting numbers in front. Cool. So now that I've put the number in front, that means there are 2 fluorines. So now that's balanced. Excellent. However, because you did that, now that means, remember this 2 is for the sodium as well as the fluorine. So it's for that, the pink one and the green one. So it's kind of going like this. So initially, you had just, sorry, you had it like this. But now, because you put the big 2 in front, it's telling you that there's 2 of these molecules. There's 2 of them. So altogether, how many pink molecules or how many sodium molecules do you have? You have 2 now. So now you have to change this also to a 2. So is it balanced? If we go back, sodium, there's 1 here, there's 2 here. It's not balanced. So now we have to balance it on the other side. So in order to make this 1 a 2, we're going to put a big 2 in front. Now we've got 2 sodiums. Now it's balanced. So let's go back. Does anything else change? No, because this 2 is only affecting that sodium, nothing else. It doesn't have another element attached to it. So sodium 2, great. Oops, give me one sec. I'm gonna highlight that. They're balanced. Magnesium, 1 here, 1 here, that's fine. It wasn't actually affected in any way. This one has 2, and this one also has 2. So now everything's balanced. So hopefully that makes sense. So hopefully you're writing this down and following along as I go. I'm going to do one more. Just give me one sec. Let me write it out. Okay, so I've written it in black just so you guys get the hang of it. So remember, any lowercase letter is not a different element. It's attached to it. So this Mg is 1. H, it's capital. And if the next letter is Cl, this is a Cl, by the way. That's chlorine. So that's CNL, they're together. MgCl2H2. So I know some of you guys complain that my L's look like I's and things like that. Okay, so let's start balancing. So I'm going to write the elements. Like this on both sides. Alright, let's start. So Mg, there's 1 here. There's 1 here. See, there's no number attached to it, so it's 1. H, there's 1 here. There's 2 here because it's got a 2 attached to it. 2. Cl, 1. Cl, 2. Alright, let's balance. Mg, they're fine for the moment. H1, H2. So we need to make this one a 2. We do that by putting a big 2 in front. Cool. So now that's made into a 2. Balanced, balanced. However, now we've realized that this 2, remember this 2 is for both of these. So there's 2 hydrogens as well as 2 Cl. So this has changed to 2. But what do you notice? Now that this has changed to 2, we've already got 2 on this side. So it automatically balances out. That's it. All we have to do was put a big 2 in front of the HCl. Everything is balanced. So we'll do some practice ones. I'll give you some practice questions to do and for you to mark. Start off by doing this, and then later on get in the hang of it of just disregarding writing it all up. Write it directly into the equation. Again, you get the hang of it with more practice. But that's all. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.